first sit down to try and do something, and I think to take a deep breath and just know that you can work
whether it's a
through
sorority, if that's what you choose to do,
that there is help.
you need to find a support network that's going to encourage you when you're really just...
It puts women and men on the same level. They're both working together.
So much more important than the knowledge you come into college with or that you bring to the company.
One of the biggest things that, not just for women, but I think anyone going into a STEM major should know is that it's not easy. It's so much fun and it's so rewarding, but it's not easy.
Just as any other major is going to take a lot of energy and effort, STEM is absolutely no exception. So you have to analyze and kind of dig within yourself and see whether or not you really have a passion for it.
People generally tend to think of physics as being very hard, and honestly, most of the, or not most, but all of the STEM majors as being very hard. And I think all of those areas are much easier if you go into it without that stigma, and that nothing is really hard. It just might take more focus and more attention or an alternate approach when you come at it. That most problems are actually solvable, and it's just a matter of working your way through it.
Analyze yourself, figure out what you want to do, and then fit a STEM field that may fit you instead of the other way around.
Have the confidence and don't get intimidated, because you can do it. It's just a learning experience, and it's if it was easy, everybody would be doing science related and engineering related fields, and it's not going to be easy.
Just as any other major is going to take a lot of energy and effort, STEM is absolutely no exception. So you have to analyze and kind of dig within yourself and see whether or not you really have a passion for it.
Just don't get discouraged if something's not clicking right away. The way that you learn STEM subjects, from my understanding, is that you kind of like run against a wall and then you get it and then you run against a wall. So just don't get discouraged if you're hitting the wall, and then you'll get it eventually, and it's the best feeling. So
really connect with your peers and the other students who have the same major as you or who are going through the same classes as you, because I think you can relate to their experiences or the things they're going through, and help each other succeed in the classes and just in the major in general.
I found that the study groups, I found that those were very helpful, because you're just working on homework. You have a session leader who's done really well in the group, in the class, and they're there to help you, and you have other people to help you out. I ran into someone who I'd met actually freshman year again, and she was another mechanical engineer, and we ended up doing a lot of homework together that quarter because we were in a very hard class together.
The biggest challenge has been probably accepting that working hard doesn't necessarily mean I'm always going to succeed. Accepting that sometimes I'm just going to get that D in that class and I'm just going to have to work around it and do better on the next test. I think accepting that I'm not going to do great all the time, but then also getting up and going, I don't care. It was just one test and I have other things that I need to worry about. So just kind of moving on from that quote unquote failure. So it's been the hardest challenge, definitely.
As women, relationships are also very important to me, and so being able to manage my studying along with keeping my social life, being able to hang out with my friends and my boyfriend is very important so that I can have the best of both worlds.
Talking to friends, talking to the couple other girls in my major, and even the guys too, it just helped because I knew other people were struggling just like me.
Understand that there's huge support networks. whether you want to be an engineer and you're African American, you can join the National Society of Black Engineers, who are 30,000 strong all over the world now, not even just the United States. Or whether you're a woman and you want to join the Society of Women Engineers, or whatever interest you may have, there's an organization out there, because whether it's a small group or a large group, there are people out there that want to do what you want to do.
That hard work and discipline and just enjoying what you're doing is so much more important than the knowledge you come into college with or that you bring to a company. So
that's one thing that I really had to learn was to kind of get over that lack of confidence in the first part. There's a lot of self-doubt that sort of happens, like, oh my god, like the math looks really hard. There's sort of like a little mini panic attack when you first sit down to try and do something. And I think to take a deep breath and just know that you can work through it, and when you get stuck, that there is help available.
So look for the support. If you're struggling, definitely find other people that are in your same position. It's great to talk to people and hear other people's experiences.
I think the nice thing that the chemistry department does, they have ACTS. ACTS is the name of their fraternity, and it's co-ed, and I like that because it puts women and men on the same level. They're both working together. I think the president is a male, but the vice president is a woman, and it's really nice because it puts you on the same level, and so you don't feel like a group of women don't feel like they're underprivileged. It puts you at the same level, so you feel like you can work with the men and you can be just as good, and you don't feel like you're always having to compete, which I think is really nice.
Most of the guys want to be on my team. They want that different perspective. They want a freshness to their team, and I know it's like that in a lot of the other engineering majors too.
You do have to find commonality between yourself and the guys in the department, and that there is still this sort of old guard of guys who don't really think that women have a place there, and maybe they won't say it, but there is a lot of bias. And I think the more that you can find a way to identify with the male students and change their minds about how they can get along with women, I think that helps change what it's like when you get out there, that these are your peers and that you are just as capable as them.
If you're going into a STEM major, it's going to be really tough. And you're going to have a lot of work to do. And it's easy to get really consumed in that major. And I think what's really great is to find something outside of your schoolwork that you really enjoy. And it doesn't have to be school related. If it's going camping with your friends every other weekend and you just make that a plan. So for me, that's kind of what kept me sane. And for other people, obviously in biology, a lot of people want to go into healthcare. So for other people, it's a job as a scribe at the ER or an EMT, or I also work for an OBGYN. So it's things outside of just your schoolwork that keep you sane and put everything into perspective, because it's so easy to get lost in school. And I think that's where stress comes in and being overwhelmed comes in. So I think it's great to find that balancing act.